Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's exciting episode we're going to be installing this Healtech Thunderbox advanced power distribution module onto my 2021 Royal Enfield Himalayan. Let's go. So if you own a bike, you probably fall in one of these three categories when it comes to wiring in your accessories. So first of all, it may be that you don't want to invalidate the warranty. So if you've got a new bike, it's probably likely you don't want to be splicing into the wiring in order to try and fit these accessories. Secondly, it could be that you don't have the necessary skills or the confidence in order to wire in your accessories into the flux capacitor. Or thirdly, and let's be honest, it's probably the most popular, is it's so much easier to wire it straight to the battery, which is why we've ended up in this situation. So a good friend of mine recommended that I install this Healtech Thunderbox to my Royal Enfield Himalayan. It's probably because he's seen the wiring catastrophe that's underneath my seat, which I'll show you in a second. So here's some of the tools I'm using today. So I've got some cable tidy sleeve to make the job a little bit neater once I finish. Of course, I've got the Thunderbox, which is the TBU01, which has just got the 4 terminal connectors. Got a small socket wrench and a 10mm socket for my battery terminals. A couple of cable ties just in case I need those for tidying up the cable work afterwards. Cutters and some wire strippers. So what is the Thunderbox? Well, it's a smart power distribution module made by the clever people at Healtech. Basically, you've got to think of it as a magic box of tricks that allows you to connect all your accessories without having to splice into your bike's wiring. So Healtech make 2 versions of the Thunderbox. You have the TBU01, which is one I'm going to install today. This allows you to power 4 devices straight from this box itself with a maximum power output of 16 amps, and then the TBU02, which allows you to connect 8 different devices, and that allows you up to 32 amps. They also make a USB connector, which they refer to as TB-USB1. That allows you to add an additional USB connector straight into the module itself. So ladies and gentlemen, here we have the catastrophe that is the wiring for my bike. As you can see here, we've got power accessory for the grips itself. Also have power for for a heated jacket, as well as my ancillary lights and my light bar. So it's all mixed in under the seat. It's quite tight under here anyway. And as you can see from the battery terminals itself, they're all basically mounted on top of one another, which makes it really difficult in order to try and connect these bolts, which I think are quite short, actually onto the battery terminal, and it just makes it quite a difficult situation. So obviously with installing this new Thunderbox, I'm hoping it's going to make a big difference, and I can actually tidy it all up and make it look a bit neater and a little bit safer. So if you're anything like me, you've got installed on your bike a number of different accessories. Now on my bike I have a USB connector which powers my phone, which I use as a sat nav. Got my light bar, got my auxiliary lights as well. Also have a power connector which is used for my heated jacket. Also have a set of heated grips. So all these I need to connect into the Thunderbox in order to try and resolve that wiring issue. First of all, we need to disconnect the vehicle's battery. Now it's important we do this in order, and you disconnect the negative terminal first before you connect the live, and then when you do the opposite way around, you're reconnecting it, you put the live on first, followed by the earth. So what is quite helpful is the fact that Royal Enfield seem to have had this design in mind when they manufactured the bike. This is like a little tiny like a document case. Now when I measure this up, this does actually fit in there quite nicely. Now I'll be able to put those connecting blocks out of the way slightly, and then just run the positive and negative lead down towards the battery, and that should give me quite a nice neat finish. So as it stands, that's the plan for the moment. So I've just installed this protective sleeve. Hopefully the camera will pick this up, just to protect some of the wiring, just makes the job a little bit neater, so I can run that around the side of the engine rather than having all the wires scattered everywhere. And all I need to do now is connect the positive feed onto the positive side of the battery and the negative feed onto the negative side of the battery in that order, and then we're good to go. So that's all connected. It literally took me about 5 minutes to install. As you can see on the box itself, it's got a little blinking green light on the back of it, which shows it's in standby mode. Now I've ran all the cabling literally down the side here, literally behind the where the fuse terminals are, and then onto the positive and negative points of the battery. So I think that's actually quite a nice, neat arrangement. So just going to make my first connection. I've just found my wires for the auxiliary lights. So there's a positive and negative here. Now the green is for all the positive connections, and the black wire is for the earth connections. Now the box itself is actually internally fused, so you don't actually need the fuse holders. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut those off now. I'll just save a little bit of length to save it, and then it's going to cut off the earth terminal. Splice the wire, and all you need to do is just make a little bit of a loose splice at the end. Just trim the ends off. Give them a little bit of a twiddle. So the connectors themselves, quite simple. Just lift up the little orange flap, and that exposes the terminal in here. I install the live. Clip the lid down. That's it. All done. And then the same for the earth terminal. Flick it up, pop it in, and it's done. Simple as that. So I just had to do a little rewire. This is the wiring for my heated grips. It wasn't quite long enough to actually reach the terminals as I expected. So just using these little heat shrink tubes with a little solder in the middle. I've literally just spliced those into there, heated them up with a lighter, and I'm just going to extend them so they actually reach there. I'll be able to tuck all the cabling around to make it all nice and neat. So there we go. So that's it, all done. As you can see, the Thunderbox is still in its original place. They've got the green flashing lights. I've managed to secure the two connection boxes with some double-sided tape. I think it just keeps it quite nice and neat and out of the way. And I've used all this cable management system just in order to track the wiring around the side of the bike, just to keep it a little bit neater. As you can see, it's far better than it was, and I'm really happy with it so far. So all that's left to do is to give it a test. See you in a bit. At the moment, my heated grips, they usually, when I was on before, they would come on when I'm not using the bike. Not anymore. And also my lights, because they were connected right to the battery, they're no longer working. So if I turn the power on, what you find, you can hear the fuel pump starting up. Now that's still flashing in green mode, a little green light, which means still in standby. It's not providing any power to any of my devices at the moment because the engine isn't running. So what I'll do, I'll start her up. And at the moment, the little green light is still blinking green, it's flashing pretty fast. Then it'll go solid green. Now what that means is that all my auxiliaries, all my lights, you can see, they're all coming on. Heated grips, they're all working. I can turn them up to full power. And everything's working as it should do. So that when it's on, the little green light stays on. So what I'll do now is I'll just kill the switch, turn the ignition off. Now you can see the little blue light on the auxiliary lights is still on. After 5 seconds that will turn itself off and it kills the power to all the devices. So that's it, installation is all done. Overall, I was really pleased at just how simple it was to install. Once I disconnected all the accessories, all I had to do was really just plug into the positive and negative into the battery terminal, find somewhere nice and neat to place it, and then reroute all the existing wires around and plug it into the terminal blocks. Now they're really simple. As I said, they literally just pop up. You put the positive terminal onto the positive side and the negative terminal to the negative side, and that is as simple as that. The Thunderbox does all the electronics for you. It does all the power management. As I said, it won't turn on unless you turn the ignition on and then fire up the engine. Thank you for watching. If you found any information in here useful, I would really appreciate give me a little thumbs up. Also, if you've got anything you want to add or anything I missed, or you want to give some advice or just share it with the community, that'd be also appreciated. And sometimes leaving some comments down below is always quite nice. I always like to hear from people when they watch my videos. It gives me like a nice warm fuzzy feeling inside when people reach out to me. So yeah, if you've got anything you want to say or just want to say hi, just leave a message below and I'll get back to you. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.